what it means to be an American. America is freedom, and freedom is special and rare.
We, the people of this great nation.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
We, the people of this great nation.
Good morning, my fellow patriots, my fellow Americans. I hope everyone is doing well. I wanted to start off the show with two things, actually, that before I introduce Dr. Q. First and foremost, I want to let every Georgian out there know that your vote is important. All of America's counting on you tomorrow. You are literally the only thing that's stopping right now at this moment from our Senate being overran by socialists. These people's agenda is the opposite of everything America stands for, and you are the firewall for this entire nation. That being said, I want to talk about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately, which is unity and my personal beliefs. I've been observing people lately, and you know, sometimes when you're so involved in politics and you do this day in, day out, you kind of forget to just look at people for people. And today I just decided that I was like going to interact with a bunch of different people and just talk to them and have conversation with them. And the whole point to all this is that we cannot get so engaged in politics where we forget ourselves and we forget who we are, and we start looking at everybody based on whatever their political views are or whatnot. And maybe the reason I'm having this moment or this feeling inside of me is because I feel something big is going to happen. And when I mean big, I think bad. I think something big is going to happen in the election. I think Donald Trump was laying it out last night in his speech. And I think that he is setting the groundwork. And I do honestly think he has something up his sleeve. But I do think there's going to be a lot of blockades. And I think the American people are going to rebel. And it worries me because I know a lot of people, a lot of lives are going to get hurt. Possibly lives could possibly be lost. I don't know. But I know that people are going over there, and I know some people are going with the best intent. And I know that some people are going with the intent to defend their constitution and their country, and they're willing to give their lives to do it. And that is what I fear. I fear that it gets to that level. I hope it doesn't. I hope I'm overanalyzing things. I hope the people that I talk to that are politically engaged, that everything they're telling me, that they end up backing down. I mean, not backing down in general, because we have to stand up for our rights and for what this country was built on. But I hope violence ends up being the last resort. That being said, what's up, Dr. Q?
What's up?
Okay, so big news. Actually, not really big news, but interesting news nevertheless. Enrique Tarrio, head of the Proud Boys, was arrested last night coming off a plane. Of course, they were bogus charges. I don't like the guy. Doesn't mean that I'm going to go ahead and endorse anyone doing anything wrong. They basically said he had ammunition or something somewhere along those lines. And they're pretty much holding him for 48 hours. Coincidentally, those 48 hours end up being during the time of the electoral vote and the Georgia runoffs. Right. So I'm pretty sure they're doing it for other motives. They're going to get sued. I don't know why they would do something that stupid. I mean, it was obvious in the video he had no weapons or anything. So that being said, good luck to Washington, because they just made a man rich. That being said,
you can go after the prosecutor too for that too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was all recorded. See, this is the problem. They all have body cams, and he was with a group of people. He wasn't by himself. Now, something that I found very interesting, and maybe Dr. Q can put some insight into this. Something I found very interesting is that Kamala Harris still hasn't given up her seat. What's up with that? What is up with
that?
What is up with that? I don't know what's up with that. Could it be possibility that she has her doubts?
No, she knows. No doubt, she knows.
I mean,
she ain't getting in.
Listen, I mean, look, I'm going to tell you something. I'm ashamed of so many things that are going on. I'm ashamed of the Georgia Secretary of State for being a piece of shit, for being a rhino. I'm ashamed of the governor of Georgia, who I once actually admired because of the way he was handling COVID-19. Now I think he's just a piece of shit. I think these guys are all bought and paid for, or they're either the dumbest Republicans that I've ever met in my entire life. It's one or the other. It's most likely they're bought and paid for. Just my opinion. It just seems that the group that's fighting seems to be Ted Cruz and company, total of 11 of them. And with if Loeffler jumps in, it'll be 12. And I'm sure more will jump in as it goes on. I mean, the whole point is to just get enough to present evidence where they're showing the evidence to the public, which is, I think, the end game here. I don't think they need the full support of the Senate. They just need just enough people to be able to show the evidence so that way no one can deny the evidence that's been presented. That is my opinion on it. And once the evidence has been presented, then it will put the Democrats and Republicans in a very difficult situation. It will put them against the wall if the evidence is so overwhelming that Donald Trump did win this election. All eyes are on them and the ball's in their court. And if they refuse it, they're going to have a problem. They're going to have a problem. And then that's when I think all hell's going to break loose in Washington, D.C. I am telling you, this is unlike anything else. I have sources within the Proud Boys. The Proud Boys are going, they are coming armed, not with guns, but they're coming with batons. They're coming with shields. They're spray painting shields. They're dressing up as Antifa. They're getting ready to attack. They're not going to stand by. This is going to be, and this is just, okay, this is what, Dr. Q, maybe you can jump in on this, but this is what worries me, right? These are perfect opportunities for Looney Tunes, for crazies, right? For people that might snap, that might take this to a whole different level. That it could be from the left or the right. It could be somebody from the left that just really hates Trump and Trump supporters and gives them an opportunity to shoot into a massive crowd or, God forbid, put a bomb and hurt a lot of people. And this is what I am worried about. I am worried about a situation where somebody goes off the loose end and ends up doing something extremely horrible. And that is my main concern right now. That is what I'm more worried about, because usually the most devastating situations are when one person decides, and we've seen this numerous times happen in different situations, Las Vegas being one of the most recent ones with the man that was up in the shooting into the concert. We have people like that all over the U.S. Unfortunately, we don't know. We can't read minds. Cops can't read minds. They can't just look at a person and know, oh shit, that guy's gonna go shoot up a group of people. And this is what worries me. It worries me a lot. Dr. Q, is there anything you would like to, any particular topic you would like to talk about or you want to bring in here? Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Do you feel homeless in today's American political world? Not really into either candidate or party? Guess what? You're not alone. Join me and others just like you across this great country for a discussion of politics from a viewpoint that you can't find in today's media. The Middle. I'm your host, Brian Grozier, and I invite you to join in on the discussion by downloading and listening to the Middle American Podcast.
I mean, my hypothesis on the situation is that I feel that Donald Trump knows exactly what's going to happen, as in, the six, as in security wise, the governor or the mayor's bringing in the National Guard, which she has to understand, if the president states, even if she called the National Guard, the president has uh, has authority over her, correct?
I believe the president has authority over the National Guard. Yes, it is
Yeah,
a federal
yeah.
entity.
Right. So she's using it. I think she's trying to use it for her means, but it's going to be used for the president. You know, if anything goes down, and I think she thinks that it's going to be opposite or something. I don't know.
No. Well, what I think is she's calling the National Guard, and I think it's a good call because she does need to have people there just in case this gets out of hand, just in case it starts becoming a full blown war between Antifa, Patriots, Americans, Proud Boys, different people, and we need to have them there just in case. Now, is it going to be enough to stop what's coming? I highly doubt it. I've been looking all over the news. I've been seeing the caravans from California. People are traveling. I mean, there's people all over. I was watching Right View today, and Right View News. They were showing people that were saying, listen, we're going to go first thing in the morning, vote, and then get in our cars and go to Washington, D.C., straight from Georgia. Mm-hmm. This is happening all over the U.S. People from Miami are planning on doing a caravan. They're not going to be able to stop this. This is going to be millions and millions of people. And most of the people that are in the military, in the National Guard, they support the president.
Exactly.
So this is putting a tight situation. This is putting, and ironically enough, the National Guard was never called for when protesters were destroying D.C. and taking down statues. I find that extremely amusing, but they're willing to call National Guard without knowing whether there's any plans of any attacks. But I think they're taking precaution because it's going to be a massive amount of people, more than any of these protests.
I think it is more ulterior motives on her part. I think she thinks that like it's going to be a different situation to help her out or something, or her protest out or whatever, because she's pro BLM.
Yeah, but I think at this point it's beyond that. I think at this point she realizes that millions and millions of people are coming, that it's an overwhelming number, that their police department, especially with her whole defunding bullshit, they know that the police is not going to be able to hold this down. I mean, they were struggling with just a couple of thousand people. I can't imagine millions and millions of people there. And all of them are going over there mad. This is the other issue. Before, people were going to protest, but they weren't really. Now this is right down to the wire. So you've got people that are angry, one, because they've been locked down in their cities and they've been kept in quarantine for so long that they're just anything will make them snap. Anything will make them snap. And then you have the situation of those who are so passionate about America and they're so passionate about Donald Trump, and they really feel like this election was robbed, and they're 100% certain that they're willing to go all the way. They're willing to go all in. And then we're going to have the small little group of Antifa getting their asses kicked, because this is what's going to happen. Antifa's never going to be able to match the numbers of Americans that are going to show up. They're going to try to strike, and they're going to get struck, and it's not going to end pretty. It's not. And honestly, I've never been an advocate for violence, but there comes a point where we have no choice. Now again, if the evidence is presented, Donald Trump presents his case, everybody hears it, and it's overwhelmingly that every American, at least any thinking American, can actually look at it and go, yeah, this election was rigged. Which I already think that. I personally think it's rigged. I think the evidence speaks for himself. I don't care who comes up on a podium and starts giving reasons behind why these votes and this. If you keep tabulating the same fraudulent votes, you're going to get the same fraudulent results. It's not going to change. So that being said, Georgia hasn't done anything. I mean, everybody's talking about the audio tape that was released yesterday. Everybody's talking about that. They're taking it out of context, of course, because that's what the media does. It's similar to the Ukraine situation.
Oh, of course.
They're taking it completely out of context. I strongly believe, from what I listened to the tape, I listened to the full hour, not the 5 minutes that the media has been showing. It seems as if Trump is almost like giving him an opportunity to redeem himself. That's the way I took it. I don't know. Maybe I'm taking it the wrong way. I don't know. But that's what it seemed like. It seemed like he was fighting for election integrity.
it also seems to me that he's given them a chance. Like, all I need is this amount of votes. I know you have, hundreds of thousands for me, but that was fraud. But I'm just asking for this amount of votes. And that's what he's saying. He's not saying, "Oh, I want you just to bring it up out of nowhere, even though they're not mine."
I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is similar to the Ukrainian situation. The reason I bring that up is he mentioned Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, and what happened months later? They impeached him, right? And then, of course, the Senate stopped the impeachment or whatever. But what happened? We found out that we needed to check into Hunter and his connections. Apparently, Donald Trump knew something. That's why he was asking. He was asking questions because he probably knew about the laptop. And that's his job as the president of the United States, is to protect the country. It's his constitutional duty, just like it's his constitutional duty to protect the Constitution, which is being broken left and right in every fucking state. So,
well, what's happening, Jay, is he's bringing out all the legalities in the Constitution, laws that they broke, and then his lawyers are bringing out the criminal aspects of it. The proof.
Listen, from all points, and I get into these arguments with liberals every day. It's repetitive. They're never going to believe it. Even if he does bring overwhelming evidence, he just needs to bring enough evidence where common sense, the Democrats themselves, the leaders in the House and in the Senate realize it's fraud and they can't, it's too much. They just have to prove it to them. Liberals are never going to believe it. They're always going to come up. They're twisting words. They're already utilizing this deflection mechanism that apparently the secretary that released these that released this audio that released this audio into the public, apparently perfect timing, right before the Electoral College, right before the Georgia runoff. Don't know, it's kind of suspicious. I mean, but from a legal standpoint, Trump won the election. Let's throw fraud out of the mix. Just on a legal standpoint, on laws and the way it's supposed to be handled state by state, they have to throw out hundreds of thousands of votes. I mean, Donald Trump only needs less than 100,000 votes in total to take the Electoral College. So in all reality, just on legalities alone, he wins. Now, if we jump into the voter fraud, which I am so certain that I would bet a testicle. You could put a testicle, one of my testicles, on a cutting board, and I would put it there that there was fraud at a large scale in this election. And without the fraud, on the legal aspects of this, he won the election. Everyone knows he won the election. The Democrats know he won the election. They're trying to see if they can squeeze it, and they're trying to see if they can sneak it by. They chose the wrong guy to battle. They chose the wrong president to pull this shit on. Bush, he probably would have taken it in the ass. I mean, and I'm being honest. Bush would have taken it in the ass. He would have accepted it. But Trump, you guys picked the wrong guy. The same guy that was talking about voter fraud. And the fact that the Democrats are so hypocritical, they did the exact same thing in 2001, 2005, and 2016. So they've done the same shit. I mean, one senator did it to George Bush even after Kerry had conceded. Did it to George Bush, and she actually said that voter suppression was occurring. They did the same exact shit. One senator actually, in the electoral vote, opposed George Bush's electoral count. One senator. And then you have the situation with Donald Trump that they kept calling him illegitimate. They did an entire Russian investigation on him, and nothing came out of it. 40 million taxpayer dollars down the drain on nothing. And for those of you out there, you liberals out there that think that there's anything criminal involving Donald Trump, yeah, there's not. The FBI looked through his taxes, looked through his bank statements, looked through his entire corporation. They spent 40 million and a team of hundreds of people looking into one man and his corporation, his family, and found nothing. If that's not a perfect clearance, I don't know what is. He's been cleared and re-cleared. So he's got clearance to get anything at the highest level. Let's just say that much. They don't do that much investigating on anyone. So his clearance level's above average. But again, look, it's the same hypocrisy we continuously keep watching. Mayor de Blasio, New Year's Eve dancing in Times Square for thee, but not
Jay,
for us.
Jay,
Same
Jay,
little
I
hypocrisy
text
the
you.
left has been playing.
Did you see the picture I text you
No, I did not.
of him dancing with his wife?
Yes, I saw him dancing with his wife live. I didn't need the picture.
Did you see that mask on her?
No, I didn't.
You know what that mask symbolizes?
I don't know what it symbolizes. Engage me.
Likes to have sex with little boys.
Come on, man.
Seriously.
Jay, it's
Come
proven by
on.
the FBI.
Dr. Q, proven by the FBI. Here we go. What website?
Jay, it is.
Where?
The symbols on. Look at your text I sent you. The symbols on there, they look like triangles. Those symbolize sex with little boys.
Is it a possibility it could just be artwork?
No.
Are you stupid?
Seriously? I mean, do we have to do this, Dr. Q? I mean,
Jay,
I know you're full blown
Jay,
Q.
that's 100% fact, Jay. From the FBI, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, you need to give me more than that. I will tell you, Kamala Harris got busted. Apparently she's taking a lot of tips from Joe Biden. a lot of tips from Joe Biden. She got caught plagiarizing Martin Luther King. So apparently she's Joe Biden is training her. He's getting her ready for her future in politics and plagiarizing. I'm glad that Joe Biden is also claiming that the coronavirus is off to the rollout is off to a god awful start, considering that he thought it wouldn't even be possible for a vaccine to be available. But again, these are all miracles that the left was saying would never happen, but Donald Trump made happen. Always disproving the left. I mean, the left just doesn't stop, and it's embarrassing. To be honest with you, if you're in the left, you should be ashamed and you should be embarrassed of yourself. Seriously, the fact that you just discredit 74 million people and you just think that we're all delusional. Listen, 82% of Republicans believe this election was rigged. 82% of 74 million people. That is a lot of people that are delusional. A lot of people that are delusional. Now, subtract 30 million from Joe Biden's actual vote tally that are probably dead or duplicates or whatever, and you got 50 million people. That's about the 82% of people that think election fraud occurred. Because I strongly believe, I don't think Joe Biden even reached 50 million in votes, to be perfectly honest with you. Maybe pulling off California, since California seems to be a state that's full of liberals that just hate Trump, possibly with New York, put all this stuff. But with the lockdowns and the way that the left has been acting, I don't see too many lefties very, very motivated to vote. I just don't see it.
I think Trump won every state.
I don't think he won every state.
I'll bet on it.
No, you won't put your balls on a chopping board.
I'm pretty sure I will.
I mean, listen, you were born with one testicle. Don't make me take the only one you have.
I bet he won every state, and I bet he destroyed in the swing states. I'll bet he destroyed Biden.
Oh, no. I'm certain that he won by hundreds of thousands of votes in the swing states. He took them all. And I'm sure he took Nevada as well. I think there's a bunch of states that he swung that they're not even in their radar. I don't think he took California just because of the ratio and the number. I don't think he took California or New York.
I think he did. I think there was a lot of people that went the other way.
Now, I will tell you something that might be extremely surprising to people. I strongly believe tomorrow that Purdue and Kelly are both going to win by a large margin. It's not even going to be close. And
because there's not going to be fake and nothing's going to be phony. You know what I mean? They're probably still trying to do the Dominion stuff like that.
They're not going to be able to pull it off. All eyes are on Georgia. Everyone's looking. They got a team of 8,000 people all across the board. And you're going to see that Georgia has been red and will always be red. and did not
Exactly.
vote red this time around either. You know who did vote red? Blue, Stacey Abrams, and the Secretary of State that worked out a deal that was
Yeah.
illegal.
Oh, yeah, she's in
Illegal.
trouble.
It broke legislative law. It was
She is in
illegal.
trouble.
Huh?
Yeah, she's going to be going away. She's done.
I don't know. It's a lady. She's like one of those. It's like when you're picking your nose and you can't reach that booger that keeps bothering you. She's one of those that they just don't go away. She still hasn't conceded. She's talking about Trump, and she still hasn't conceded on her own case, on her own. And it's been years. I mean, you would have thought she conceded a long time ago. And
Because
Governor,
she thinks it's going to go through with Biden, and she thinks that she doesn't have to worry about anything.
and Governor Kemp should enjoy his next 2 years because he's out. He's out. Anybody who runs against him has Donald Trump's endorsement. With Donald Trump's endorsement, they won the election.
Well, they can recall him too.
No, they're not going to recall him. Donald Trump will campaign against him, and Donald Trump will pick somebody to be governor. There's going to be plenty of people that are going to want to run against him, and Trump is going to see the person that's most that has that whole America first, which I found to be extremely funny that he mentioned that last night, that he was talking about how how stupid it was for the left to literally say that they want to get rid of America first. I mean, how stupid can you be to actually announce that you want to get rid of America first? It's America first.
Because Jay, what the globalists have to do before they do their whatever their situation is, as in like going against America or whatever tyranny, whatever it is, they have to, for it to work. It's hard to explain for them. They're taught for it to work. They have to tell what they're going to do, but without you realizing that it's really going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like it's strange, but that's the way the Luciferians, think. They feel that that's the way they can. It's almost like a spell. They create it as like a spell on people. They have to tell them what they're doing, and then they do it. I know it sounds far-fetched, crazy stuff, but it's true.
It definitely sounds far-fetched and crazy, both at the same time. But that being said, I mean, it's 2020 was crazy. Who would have thought everybody in supermarkets would be wearing masks? Again, I mean, who would have predicted that Hillary Clinton would have gotten away with everything she did? Who would have predicted everything that's happened? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if everything that you've been saying are your QAnon conspiracies are real. At this point, nothing surprises me because everything is just so crazy that nothing at this point surprises me. Now the new thing going around, what's going to happen? Predict to me. Go. Give me your QAnon prediction.
What's going to happen is he's going to, the 6th, he's going to let everybody know exactly what the hell happened with the election. And once the globalists, the Democrats, they're all together because they want to get him out so they can actually, have their new world order, which is worse than socialism. You call it socialism, but it's not. New world order is totally different. They call it the reset now. They try to get people not thinking about the new world order, but that's what it is. And it's worse than socialism. It's basically mandatory vaccines. It's mandatory everything where you are controlled in every aspect of your life, whether it's your food, whether it's your money. All money is going to be digital. Like, this is no joke. This is the truth. This is what they're trying to do. And they've been trying for a long time. And they know if Trump is in there, they can't do it. So what's going to happen here is they're going to go bonkers. Once he proves that he was elected and it was all fraud, they're going crazy. And they're going to go for the worst case scenario. So I guarantee, and what's going to happen is they're going to take down the social medias. They're definitely going to take down his Twitter. That's going to be 100% because they don't want him telling anybody anything. So what he's going to do is he's going to do something very smart, and there's no social media that can stop anything that he's going to do. So my point is that they're going to go nuts, and it's going to be, we don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be some serious shit, like crazy shit. Like I don't know what, but major tyranny everywhere. Guarantee it.
you named several things you think are going to happen. I don't know. You kept saying I don't know shit. I don't know shit. But I mean, you
What
named
I'm saying is,
several. I mean,
well, that's a new world order. But I'm saying,
I fear. This is what I fear. I fear that Ted Cruz and all these people end up just disputing like one state, right? Instead of disputing state by state by state, they dispute one state. And then it ends up them like trying to pretend like they're fighting, and it's all like a show just for the American people, so they can be like, okay, we fought for Donald Trump. That's it. We did our part. That's what I fear. These people need to go in, and they need to go in hard. I don't know who presents the evidence. I don't know how it's presented and argued. I don't know that process, since this is a very special situation because it's so many different votes. I mean, so many different states that I don't know how the process is going to pan out.
right.
So that has me a bit on the confused side. I don't know who's going to present what and how it's going to be presented. I'm excited. I'm super excited about seeing what gets presented. I hope it's overwhelming evidence. I hope it's something that convinces me
Well, Jay,
more and can convince the average moderate Democrat. That's all you need
do
to
you know what?
convince. The lefties, you're never going to convince them because they're
You
just
know what?
ignorant to facts. But if you get a normal American that just looks at things and they're like, "Oh wow, they committed so much fraud." That's all you need. You just need to convince enough moderates and enough Republicans, and it's over. And you got to convince
You know,
Vice President Pence.
the January. I think. Donald Trump.
What's that? Hello? Hello? Apparently we lost Q. Sorry, guys. I have a habit of chewing ice. I do apologize. Very unprofessional, but I have a very big issue with chewing ice. Oh, apparently the cough fell. This is what happens when you have shitty reception. And unfortunately, he has pretty shitty reception. So I'm giving him a call again, see if we can get him back so he can jump to his crazy little conclusions. But apparently the phone is not even ringing. Hello?
Please leave your message for...
He's trying to reach me, I think. Mr. Q, Dr. Q. What am I going to do with this man?
Hello.
Get a new phone.
It's not my phone.
Okay, so
Go
what
on.
were you saying? Yeah, I mean, it completely cut off when you said Donald Trump. That's all. That's it. It cut off right there. So go ahead.
I heard that he made the month of January a child trafficking month. So
I haven't read anything of that on the news.
So what that tells me is that all hell is going to break loose. I think he's going to let the whole world know exactly what's going on and who was involved. And like I said, it's not going to be on media, social media. I think it's going to be another way that he's going to do it. And he's very smart. He knows what he's doing. So I think everything's coming out. Everything with the child trafficking. I mean, everything. Everything has to do with the globalists, what they've been trying to do. Every little thing is going to come out now.
I mean, people, if you don't see what these Democrats are doing, they're dismantling religion, for God's sakes. Did you guys see how the man is doing a prayer and he says amen and a woman? Does he even realize amen has nothing to do with men?
How stupid they are.
It's amen. It's not even, I mean, and I'll even really I'll even look up the definition of it, which I'm sure has, just to fact check myself, because I like to
I
fact
think it
check.
means it will be or something like that, or that's the way. What does it mean exactly?
I'll tell you right now. I mean,
As it
okay,
should be or something.
so be it.
So be it.
Amen is a Latin word that means truly, or so be it.
Mhm.
So why the fuck? Now let's look up a woman. Let's see what that means. Let's see how that makes sense in the.
I don't think there's a word.
Okay. There is absolutely no word. There's
Exactly.
absolutely no word that exists. So right there, they're disrespecting everybody,
God.
every religious individual, all
Yes.
across the world. Not
Disrespecting
even,
God.
not even across the country, all across the world.
Yep.
And these are the people that are trying to lead our country. They're trying to cancel everything we
God.
believe in,
Yes.
not just God, history.
Families, everything.
They're trying to cancel out our entire culture. They're trying to program us. They want us to be a version of China. That is what they want.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That is what they want. They have ridiculous plans for the future that make absolutely no fucking sense. They have no direction in what direction they're going. They just want power. They want to be in control of everything. And the reality is, the Democrats just fuck things up, and we know this. And then a Republican comes in and fixes it. That's really the job of the Republicans, to fix the shit that the Democrats do. I mean, that is the reality. Democrats, they've been the worst party in our history. I would consider the founding fathers were probably Republican in their views. It's just the Republican Party hadn't been established yet. But I would say that most of the founding fathers were most likely, if we were to put them in categories within political parties, I would strongly assume that most of our founding fathers would have been Republican, at least
Let
on
me make another prediction.
based on their values.
Let me make another prediction.
Go ahead.
My prediction is Pence will not be vice president
Why?
because he's getting rid of him.
I actually have a different prediction. I have a
What's your
completely
prediction?
different prediction. I believe Mike Pence is going to vote the Electoral College in favor of Donald Trump. I think
I'm not saying that's not going to happen.
I think he's a huge ally to Donald Trump, and I think
Right.
that this whole lawsuit and everything is part of the ploy, so it won't make it look as if he's already favoring it. There's no way that he hasn't been briefed on the fraud, because he's a candidate with Donald Trump. He's part of the campaign, and I'm sure he's seen it, and I'm sure he knows that fraud was committed, and he's being put in a situation where he's got to look as if he's got to look as if the evidence convinced him. That is what I feel. Because if he goes in there already saying that he's planning on disputing these things, already, you know what the Democrats are going to be doing. All over the newspapers, all over the internet, foul play. Vice President Pence is planning on doing foul play. And that's going to be everything that's going to be on the news. And that is what I think is going to happen. I do not think Vice President Pence is a bad person. I think he's going to back Donald Trump. He's backed Donald Trump all the way through with everything that's occurred in Donald Trump. Every comment, every negative comment. He's helped Donald Trump get the evangelical vote. And overall, I've looked him up. He's always been a pretty solid guy, a man of his word. And I mean, it came straight from Donald Trump's mouth yesterday in his rally in Georgia. I mean, it came straight out of his mouth.
I understand that,
he has
but
faith.
he has to say this too. So,
I mean,
you know,
again, you're trying to pretend as if you have some sort of information that others don't.
I do.
You have no information whatsoever.
I'm going to send it to you when I get home. When we get off, I'm going to send it to you. All right.
Which the most interesting part is, this is why I love having these conversations, because then I can debunk you the next time you're on on how wrong you were. So
yeah,
I mean, again,
so that's my prediction tonight. He's not going to be vice president.
Good prediction. I predict that if Trump is reelected and manages to pull off this electoral victory, I do believe that Vice President Pence will be vice president, and Donald J.
Mhm.
Trump will be president of the United States.
Okay.
If he cannot prove his case in the electoral in Congress and the Senate, I don't know what other options he's got left. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't foresee.
B and C.
Huh?
He has plan A, B, and C. He will win no matter what.
I mean, listen, I don't want a dictator in office either. Now let's get that. Let's
Not a
get that
dictator.
straight.
The reason why he will win is because there was so much fraud.
Okay, well, he's got to.
Complete.
He's got to be able to. Okay, look, we've heard it. He's shown a little bit of what he has. Now he's going into where it's being fought in the House and in the Senate. And now in the electoral votes, we will see the actual evidence. And it has to be very, very strong evidence. It has to be extremely strong evidence.
Remember when I told you about the voting? I said I bet that Biden won no more than 25% out of the votes.
I don't think it's that low. But he won.
Okay.
I don't think Joe Biden did that bad because there's just Democrats that just voted for. I mean, you just have to look at the numbers of the states that did it the right way. I mean, like Florida, Ohio, he got his votes. I mean, he didn't get anywhere near 80 million. That much I can tell you. But I mean, he probably did a fairly decent job. He didn't 25%. He didn't do better than Hillary. I mean, the numbers just don't add up. You can't have half the counties that Obama carried and surpass Obama by 15 million votes. How the fuck does that happen? I mean, that's a question you have to ask yourself. I mean, really, how do you win less counties, half of the counties that Obama won, and yet manage to pull off 15 million more votes? Just doesn't add up. Mathematically, it doesn't add up. Now, Trump can't go in there, and he can't just go in there and be showing mathematical reasons on why it's impossible. He's got to show solid evidence. They've got to put people under oath in front of Congress. Like, they have to show people saying their stories. They have to be able to prove it. They have to be able to bring something in there that shows the fraud. They have to have documentation. They have to have solid proof. Otherwise, it's going to create havoc in Washington, D.C., and it's not going to get us anywhere.
I don't understand what you're calling solid proof. Everything they've shown is solid proof.
That's not solid proof.
What is solid proof then?
That's circumstantial evidence. They need to.
What is solid proof? Tell me.
Okay,
Tell me what
solid proof would be, for example, they have actual ballots that were changed. That would be one. They have witnesses that are under the law of perjury that can connect, and they have to be able to connect those witnesses to the actual event where the fraud occurred. That's something. That's why I tell you the avenue that they're going to go is not going to be on voter fraud. It's going to be on legislative law. It's going to be on the way the states handled the laws. They broke the laws. And that is
right. Of course, but that's going to be the first outlet. But then they're going to go after the fraud. Guarantee it. They're going to bring up both. But first they're going to do for the definite win, which is constitutional.
Was this election unconstitutional? Absolutely, 100%.
Completely.
I can agree with that 100%. I can agree that just based on constitutional laws, Donald Trump won the election by a landslide. Right. Now, the courts are not hearing it, and I don't think most of his cases, and there's been so many independent cases, Donald Trump's had a handful of real cases. Everybody keeps throwing all his cases into one, and it's not like that, because there's been a lot of independent people that have been filing lawsuits. But that being said, most of the lawsuits have been basically denied on procedural reasons. Wisconsin makes no sense. They said that, why didn't you bring this ahead of time? Which in all reality is literally impossible, because how do you predict fraud before it even happens? So how would he bring a case that has no merits if you can't prove the fraud yet, because the fraud hadn't occurred yet? So right there on its own, they validated. I mean, just absentee ballots, drop boxes, everything they did in Wisconsin, and he's within such a close margin that they just have to dump out one little batch, and he won the election fair and square.
Exactly.
Michigan, same thing. Nevada, same thing. Arizona, same thing. Georgia, same thing. Pennsylvania broke so many laws I can't even name them all. And that's your great state, a piece of shit state. And they should have been leading by example, considering the history behind Pennsylvania.
No.
Out of all the states to do this, Pennsylvania was the one that should have been leading by example. The only thing I will try to tell to my liberal listeners, open your minds a little bit and just engage in this one thought. What a coincidence that all these events occurred in the most important states, in the most crooked cities, and all the events were so similar in the way it happened. And
Well, let me say something too.
And he just won with a slim margin, just enough to put him right over the top. Why is it we still have a battle going on somebody in New York City that we don't know whether they won or not?
I know.
Why are we still
Come on.
why are we still counting votes?
Yeah, I can't believe that's not being looked into like extensively like now. Like
Give me a
that's
break.
crazy.
It's New York. Do you expect it to be looked at? Are you forgetting who's the leadership in New York?
Yeah, I mean, you got Mr. Pedophile.
Tell me how you win Florida, Ohio, and Iowa and lose the election. I mean, these are just things. Tell me how the polls had him losing in Iowa by a large margin, yet he turns it around and wins by a larger margin. It doesn't make sense, people. Doesn't make sense. I don't know in what way, in what language. If I have to start learning how to speak Chinese, and maybe the liberals will start understanding me better because it seems to be their native tongue. But I mean, I just don't. I don't understand. I don't know how simpler I can put it. The left is literally putting this country on the verge of a full-blown war. That is what they are doing. The media is engaging in it. The media has been the biggest corporate in dividing this country by giving misinformation on a consistent basis, because they've been consistently giving misleading information. Representatives in the House have been lying time after time with no repercussions. Let's not forget Swalwell. He's just vanished. His story's gone. No one's talking about him anymore. The man was sleeping with a Chinese spy. Right there.
5 years.
That man should be out of the Intel Committee and most likely out of the House. But no, he's under the wing of Pelosi because Pelosi tells him, hey, vote for me. Make sure I'm Speaker of the House. He's got his position secured. This is ridiculous, and this isn't the way this isn't the way Congress should be ran. We, the people, put these people in power. We, the people, can take them out of power. That's simple. They're supposed to represent us. They're supposed to be our voice. And if Republicans are not doing their job, we take them the fuck out of there too. It's that simple. They're supposed to be our voice. I'm blessed to say I voted for Byron Donalds. He is one of the congressmen that are actually fighting for Trump. I voted for I voted for Donald Trump. I voted red all across the board for legislators and everything. I voted for Governor DeSantis at the time. I think he's done a magnificent job, probably the best job any governor has done, him and the governor of South Dakota. So these are just things. I mean, look, the media has been blocking us off. Adam Schiff lied over time again. He would literally go into that hidden deposition that he was having during the impeachment, getting no information, nobody confirming that there was anything wrong with the phone call, any collusion, anything. And then he would go right outside after he heard those things and he would go talk to the media and say, without a doubt, there's Russian collusion. I mean, this is the type of shit they've been doing, and CNN has been engaging with it. CNN has become a news outlet only for the left. They are feeding propaganda is what they are doing.
They've always been like that, Jay. Never
Not
been
really.
different.
There was a time where CNN was actually reporting news. That they weren't biased. They were always biased. I mean,
Yep.
that's the reason Fox News came out of the woodworks and Fox News was created, but they were never this biased. And there was a time where, I mean, Chris Wallace's dad, for example, an amazing, amazing journalist that was actually a journalist, and he was a Democrat, lifelong Democrat, but he would ask the hard questions to both Republicans and Democrats. He did not care. And those times
Right,
are gone.
Jay,
those times are gone.
what you have to understand is these presidents were all in cahoots with the deep state. The only one that's not is Donald Trump. That's the problem.
Are you
That's why
saying
nobody.
Are you saying Ronald Reagan was in cahoots with the deep state?
I'm not saying Ronald. Who knows? Probably not.
Exactly.
But I'm
You
just
don't
saying,
know. That's the whole point. Is
but
what I'm
most
trying
of
to say.
them,
You don't know.
most of them were.
No, they
but
were not.
Donald Trump definitely was not, and they know they can't control him, and they tried over and over again. He went to Davos. You know what Davos is?
No.
It was in what is it, Europe, I think it is, where it's the what is it, the World Federation or something. What is it called?
I don't even know what in the hell you're talking about. You lost
Where,
me. You lost me at your dumb comment.
I know. I'm trying to. I'm thinking of something else. Anyway,
yeah,
he went to
when you're in
Davos,
an interview with me, when you're on my show, try to focus on what you're doing. Because I mean, I don't.
So he went to Davos. Davos was a meeting between basically all the leaders of the world, where they try to control everything, in the world, and they tried to get him involved in it and accept of what their agenda was, and he told them straight up, no, I'm not. I'm not into this. I'm in for the American people and for the way of family life and prosperity and freedom.
Where on earth are you getting this ridiculous information?
It was on TV. What do you mean?
So it's on TV, so it's real. What TV?
Yeah.
Fiction? Sci-Fi Channel?
No, look under Davos.
I mean,
DAVOS.
I mean,
Look it up.
this is just ridiculous. What you are saying right now is just ridiculous. I'm going to be honest with you. I believe the deep state began during the Bush administration. I think that's when it got real intense. During the Bush administration, I think shortly after September 11th. And I think at that point in time is when the government switched pages. And I think unfortunate for Donald Trump, when he came into office, there was a lot of operatives that were in there that were Biden supporters put in by Biden. I mean, Obama supporters put in by Obama. And they were still looking out for Obama within the White House, within the justice system, within all these systems. That is how Hillary was protected the whole time. That is how Biden was protected the whole time. Do you honestly think Hunter Biden was doing deals with Ukraine, with Russia, China, and Obama didn't know about it? God knows if Obama was getting a piece of the pie. We don't know this. I mean, we know that he's rich as hell right now. We know that it is not normal. It is not normal for a president who serves the people to come out of office and be a multimillionaire. That is not normal. Okay? I believe President Truman, if I'm correct, he said something very, 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 and I'm trying to find it. President Truman. I'm going to get you this quote because it is the best on public official.
It's Davos, Switzerland.
Okay. Okay, well, look, I mean, these are oh, wow. Well, he actually said there's some interesting quotes he said. He said, it's amazing what you can accomplish if you do not care who gets credit. If you can't convince them, confuse them. America was not built on fear. There is nothing new in the world except the history you do not know. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Who's
But
saying this?
President Truman.
Oh, okay.
But there is a quote that he said that no public official should ever. And I'm trying to find it. He said something along hold a leader in the Democratic Party is a boss. In the Republican Party, he is a leader. That's awesome. That's a good one. Whenever you put a man on the Supreme Court, he ceases to be your friend. Guys, history teaches you so much. It teaches you so much about life, about what we should stand for, about everything that it is literally the foundation of everything. History consistently repeats itself, and we must always remember that. We must always remember that. Wow, look at this one. This one stands for Trump. This one stands perfectly for Trump. The president is always abused. If he isn't doing anything. That is the perfect quote for Donald Trump. Perfect quote.
True.
That is by far the best quote for Donald Trump. But he did say a famous quote. He's done so many quotes. I can't believe it. I can't find anything. But he did a quote where he said that no public official should ever walk into office serving the public and walk out richer than what they walked in. Somewhere along those lines. I can't remember the exact quote. But and these are people that served our country. These are people that were president of the United States during tough times, during good times, and we must learn from them. All Americans must look back at history. Okay. A lot of people that keep telling me, "Oh, this is that's happening right now has never happened before. It's over for Donald Trump." Grab a history book and look up the year 1876. Just look up that year. Look up the election for 1877. Look it up. It is a very interesting read. I think you will enjoy it. And guess what? The underdog won. The one that was claiming that he was being cheated was actually the one that ended up being president of the United States. Just saying. People need to wake up people need to wake up to the nonsense that's going on right now in America. You need to wake up. It's going to get real. It's going to end up in the front of your doorstep. If we continue to let this happen, if Democrats, moderate Democrats, and Republicans do not unite for the republic, for this great republic that we have, we are going to lose it. And everybody has everything to lose, nothing to gain. Okay? And the left has their agenda. And there's Democrats out there that are good Democrats. There's pro-life Democrats. There's Democrats that are affiliated with the Democratic Party, but don't necessarily believe with this entire progressive movement. And these moderate Democrats need to stand up or switch parties because your party is abandoning you. And you will lose re-election. I promise you that. In 2 years from now, all you moderates that are still left there, you few moderates that are left in the House, you will lose your seat to a Republican. That is your future. If you continue to follow this thin line with these progressives that America does not agree with. And we proved it with the red wave that hit that was supposed to be a blue wave, and it was a red wave of the seats that we gained in the House. It was a huge victory for the Republican Party. It should have been a ridiculously huge victory because we won the presidency as well. But again, that is still being debated and battled. And I think the truth will come out. And I don't know if the truth will change the results of the election. I'm assuming it will, since the margin is so small and the fraud is so large. But again, I want to see the evidence. I want it to be proven. I mean, I would say that most Republicans, even Dr. Q, would accept a Joe Biden presidency if it's really bullshit. If there's really no actual facts or no proof to collaborate what Donald Trump is saying, I'm pretty sure most Republicans would be like, okay, he just happened to get lucky. That's it. But unfortunately, they're refusing to give us transparency, and that is not the way America works. The people spoke, and the people feel that they were robbed, and you need to give transparency. You need to make sure that people feel that our elections are secure and that we have election integrity. I mean, we are a country that literally teaches other countries on how to run their elections. And right now, we are the laughing stock of the world. We are the laughing stock of the world. Dr. Q, it's your cue.
Yep. So, like I said, my prediction, I explained to you exactly what's going to happen.
What do you think? Look, forget about what you think. What do you think is going to happen come January 6th if Donald Trump doesn't win the electoral? What do you think the people are going to do? Let's forget about. Let's talk about the people that are attending this. The millions of people that are going. What do you think is going to be the aftermath if things don't go? Let's say in Trump's favor.
Civil war.
At that precise moment, you think it's going to happen?
I think it's going to be the beginning.
So you think I mean, and I've said this several times, this is what I fear. I fear that people, okay, I can tell you that I FaceTime with somebody today. I'm not going to say any names. The guy is going to DC and he's ready. That is as much as I can tell you. As a matter of fact, I got a text message about an hour ago. He's already in DC in his hotel room waiting. And they're coming prepared. Not to kill. They're not coming prepared to kill, but they're coming prepared to hurt. They're prepared to hurt people and to defend themselves. In all honesty, he's actually going with the intent to just protect himself. But if he's engaged, he's planning on protecting himself and doing whatever it takes to protect himself. But I can tell you, just like that, there's probably several hundreds of thousands of Americans that are going to come armed. That nobody's going to know they're armed. That they're going to have their guns in their briefcases going into their, in their suitcases going into the hotel room like everything's normal. And they're going to go about their business. And that's where the problem could occur. And I just hope that we don't see a situation where police starts getting hurt. I don't think the Proud Boys are doing a smart move by dressing like Antifa. It will make Antifa look like they have larger numbers. It will make them feel confident, and they may think that they have more groups than what they really are. And I think it's extremely dangerous what they're doing. But that's just my opinion. I do not think that the Proud Boys, I think they should have gone with their colors, but I understand why they're trying to camouflage themselves is because they're treated different. They're treated completely different than what Antifa's treated like.
That's not stupid, it's smart.
I mean, it's smart, but it was very stupid for their leader to announce it on Parler.
That's dumb. I was wondering why you were talking about it, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, he literally announced it. Two of their leaders announced it on video. And then it came out on Business Insider. Perhaps if they would have kept their fucking mouth shut. I mean, this, again, apparently they did not learn from Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump usually, he says that you don't announce things before you do it.
Exactly.
Apparently
sounds like Obama.
Apparently these guys didn't think this one through.
Your country.
What's that? I'm pretty sure a lot of the Antifa guys are not going to dress in all black. I mean, a lot of the Proud Boys are not going to dress in all black. I can't foresee older men not showing their patriotism and not wearing American flags and wearing what they like to wear. It's just, I don't see that. I don't see true patriots doing that. I think that maybe the younger crowd might do it. And that's a strong possibility that they might do it. But I don't foresee everybody in the Proud Boys doing this. I mean, I understand the purpose behind it. They say that if they're within the group, it would be very difficult for Antifa to assault anybody there. But
they're getting from behind.
At this point, I don't think. I think Antifa's the one that needs to be worried. I don't think the Proud Boys are going to be providing too much protection with the amount of people that are going over there. I think Americans are pretty well prepared this time. This is that's it. Everybody's in it. Like this is that's it. This is the moment. This is the moment that determines everything. Everybody knows how important this day is, and I think everybody's going to leave it there in Washington. They're going to leave it all in Washington, D.C. I just hope it's as least violent as possible. I hope the truth comes out. I hope justice prevails. I still have faith in America. I haven't lost faith. I think there's a lot of good congressmen. I think there's a lot of people in the FBI that are good people. I believe that probably 99% of the FBI are good people. That 1% fucks it up for the rest of them. I believe that most Americans love this country. I believe most people that work for this for the government do it with the best intention. Just like police officers, I strongly believe that they choose that field because they really want to help people, and I think that a small group damages it for the rest of them. And I just hope that justice prevails. I hope that we see the truth for what it is, and I pray for this country. I pray for the future of this country. Because, boy, I do not want my kids growing up in a country where the leadership is what we're seeing right now. Or the supposed leadership.
Okay. What I heard is that the Democrats are trying to bring the reset, which is New World Order. And what's going to happen is Trump's going to win no matter what. And he's going to bring in a different world for us, too, but in a better way, better than ever, you know?
I mean, I've been hearing several leaders talking about reset. It's not even just in the United States. I've been hearing it. The Prime Minister of Canada said it as well.
Yes, that's world. It's New World Order.
I mean, I don't know if it's New World Order. Again, you know how I feel about conspiracy theories.
I know for a fact.
You don't know shit.
It's New World Order.
You don't know
New
shit.
World Order, Jay.
You don't know shit.
100% New World Order.
Man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
You don't know shit. You call everything fact and you can't back your facts up. And then when I ask you details about this, you begin with I can't. It's confidential. Give me a fucking break. Confidential of what? Of your QAnon society?
No, that's not confidential. That's written everywhere. That's under the New World Order guidelines. That they state what exactly they're going to do, and they call it the reset.
Okay, well, I don't believe in the reset. I think America's great. I think America's getting greater thanks to Donald Trump. I think we do need to clean out. We need to clean house. Absolutely clean up house. There's a lot of corruption within our government. And
the Federal Reserve itself is corrupt. Big time corrupt.
Okay. So we need to clean up. We need to clean up house. And I don't think I don't foresee that happening if we don't have a President Trump in office. I just don't see it. I don't see it. That being said, guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. We surpassed a threshold on our last podcast, and I'm very proud to say we hit over 30,000 listeners, and that was amazing. I thank you guys so much for the support. This is just going to keep growing. I just opened a new channel on Twitch. It's called the Patriot News Network. I'm sorry. The Patriot News Network, and it's basically going to be running news 24/7, and it's free. And along with that, I'm changing my entire platform. If a lot of people don't know this, I stream live during the day. I have been temporarily suspended for 7 days, which happens to land the day after the electoral, which really fucking sucks. I don't know if the timing was just done purposely on that. But I am getting a lot of traction on Twitch. I stream on all platforms. I stream on Twitter. I stream on YouTube. I'm expanding to about 25 other platforms by the end of the week. I'm growing my channel. I've got some partners that are coming in, some other people that are going to bring a different taste to this whole streaming world that I'm trying to create, this network I'm trying to create. A lot of different people from different backgrounds, which is my whole end game. I've always wanted to have an open dialogue with people, an open platform where everyone feels welcomed and everybody can have a conversation like civil people without having to insult one another. And that has been my goal, and I continue to fight for that because that is what America is. America is a country of ideas and of diversity and different political stands. People believe in different policies, and I respect that. I respect everyone's First Amendment right. I wish big tech would do the same with me, but apparently they don't agree with me. So if you guys can, if you want to support, you can you can easily donate money at Patreon. That's patreon.com, the Republican Nation, and you'll see me there. And it would help me a great deal because I'm continuously investing. I reinvest this. I'm trying to grow this. I'm not trying to, at this point, I'm not trying to make money off of this. I'm just trying to expand it and get a bigger audience and a bigger reach and reach out to more Americans out there. And I have a huge goal, and I do not plan to stop anytime soon. I'm going to continue to fight the good fight. God bless you. God bless your families, and God bless this beautiful country we call America. Dr. Q, thank you so much for being on the show again. Greatly appreciate it. You're a good friend. A crazy one, but nevertheless a good one. And hopefully all works out for us. Let's see these next couple days. There's going to be a lot of madness, a lot of craziness going on. My sources, like I've said in numerous podcasts, my sources says there's going to be several indictments unrelated to the election, but several indictments coming up. Several indictments have already occurred. I can't release those, unfortunately, but there's a lot of big things that are going to occur. Just stay tuned and don't let politics get in the way between relationships, family members. Remember, at the end of the day, these people are still getting paid. They're still doing their thing. And the only thing that can change anything is remembering what they've done and making sure that you never vote for them again. That is their punishment. And that is how you punish these people that you feel weren't your voice. You punish them by not voting for them. We put them in power. We give them the power that they have, and we can easily take it away from them. Okay, so I urge people to try to engage and talk with one another instead of argue with one another. I strongly believe that people can find common ground. I've had socialists on my podcast. I interact with people from all different political spectrums, and I always manage to find some sort of common ground with them. It's hard. It's very hard. But we do find common ground in some things, and we have conversation. And that is the key to everything, is being able to conversate without fighting, without arguing, without disrespecting one another. Again, thank you for tuning in.
We will make America great again.